Welcome back to my channel. At the last video we talked about my top 5 kits, and today we like to talk about my flop 5 kits. I mean the worst kits I've built so far. It is not always the worst kits from fitting and how it looks, but there were some major flaws where I said, oh, that is a flaw or mistake which can't happen, which is not allowed to happen. So, these are not the worst kits on the market. These are just the worst kits I've built or I've purchased. So, let's take a look. Before I forget it, at the last video I said I can't show you the kits because I don't have them because they are so bad. That's not the truth. 3 kits are still, I still have 3 kits from this list, and I will show you why I think these kits are not the best on the market. Good, let's start with a kit which I don't have anymore. It is the E100 from Model Collect. The first purchases were awesome. When Model Collect released their E-Series a few years ago, they were awesome. Really awesome. I think I bought them all. And they had metal gun barrels, PE parts. They were great, they fit well, everything was fine for a 72 scale. But at some point, I think Model Collect lost their focus. Well, focus is a good word for that. Lost their focus on these series and changed the focus to, I think it was the T series, like the T-72 or the T-80, the more modern Russian tanks. Because I also purchased some of them and they were awesome with metal holes and everything else. But when at that point where they changed their focus, they changed also the kits, but they never changed the price. I bought that E100 and I bought, as I said before, other kits of that series, and there was no metal gun anymore. And it still has workable springs, but no single-link tracks anymore, because at the first there were 2 different tracks in there, single-link tracks and these rubber band tracks, and the single-link tracks were gone in my kit. Also PE parts, the PE thread became smaller. At the first the E75 with this nice fenders on the side, or the track guards, the E100, okay, it's more round, but it wasn't there. Even on later released E75s, these PE parts for the fenders were gone. Still the cover for the grills, but not the fenders anymore, and the metal gun were gone. So that was very disappointing because the price didn't drop. They left their old price for less, and so I think that's a flop for me. And that is my first flop, the E100 from Model Collect. Let's talk about my next flop, and that is, I can show you the kit, is the E75 from Trumpeter. I have it here. It isn't finished at the moment, but I can show it to you, and it is not still in that conversion where you can buy it. I normally build them out of the box, my kits, most times, and here is my E75. And then all you say, hey, it looks good, but this isn't the original barrel anymore. This one is a barrel from Eva, I think. It's a metal gun. The night vision is normally not there. This is from spare parts, but rubber band tracks I left them because they are mostly covered. But there is one major flaw. Okay, the running gear is not so good to put together, but the major flaw in that kit is when you have a kit with workable things like, normally the turret will spin in 360 degrees, but this one doesn't. It stopped there because the turret hits these covers and you can't turn it like you want. And I think that's a major flaw. And yeah, that makes the whole kit bad for me, because the features on the tank, which is there, like the rise and lower down the gun barrels, which work here, and yeah, they have to work. If they don't work, it is eating. So that's why this one is one of my worst kits I purchased. Sorry. The next kit on my list of the flop 5 is Zvezda's Flying Dutchman. I've built it. It looks really good when it's finished, but it's a lot of work. I'll show it to you. Here it is. It is a lot of work to finish that. First and foremost, the plastic is a bit strange. When you put the glue on it, it becomes soapy, so when you put two parts together, they always slipped. They don't stay where they have to stay. It's like if you make some oil or soap between, and these two parts always try to get away. And the next thing is the pulleys. I left 2 pulleys on there, the others I didn't use them where it's not necessary. You can see them here and there. They are way out of scale. It's a 100 scale ship and the pulleys are huge. And I think of the poor guys which have to work with these pulleys. So they're way out of scale. The next thing is the marks on the inside of the sails. We have big extractor marks on the inside of the sail, so you have to sand a lot. And normally the sails are fine. They have plastic and they also have a surface texture that are good. But on the inside with this big fat markings, you have to sand them away, and you will also kill the surface structure. So that's also a bad point. And the worst point for that ship is it isn't a Flying Dutchman. It is. This kit was first released as, I think, Vasco da Gama's ship. I don't know the name. It's normally a Portuguese. I think it's a dhow, and which were 100 years before the Netherlands become one of the big, strong leaders on the sea. The Flying Dutchman would normally a ship from the 17th or 18th century, and this one was produced 100 years before. So think about it. For example, you want to build a Tiger tank, and you open the box, or you went into the shop, and there's a Tiger tank on the display. So there's another tank, for example, Leopard. A totally other era of tank. You open it, it's written Tiger tank, but it's a Leopard inside. So that's a major flaw in I think so. Or because it's a fictional ship, I think never there was a Flying Dutchman anymore, a ghost ship like that. Or the Black Pearl. It's also a fictional ship, and you open the box and you find another fictional ship inside, like, I don't know, what is it called? Submarine here from 1,000 miles under the sea, or 100,000 miles under the sea. It's also fictional. It's not the Black Pearl then anymore. And that's the same with that kit. Isn't the ship which is written on. It's not a Flying Dutchman. So that's the next worst kit, or one of the worst kits. Or flop, it's not worse, it's a flop. So, and yeah. Zvezda's Flying Dutchman. The next one is over there. I have to stretch myself a bit, and we will now wonder about that kit again. And that is Italerys. There's a picture of it. Tornado. I built that this year, and it looks fine when it's finished. But the way went to that is extremely. The kit is made very simplistic, so I think it is made for beginners or for not so advanced modelers because there are less parts. The surface structure isn't that great. It's not bad, but it's not great. But there are two major flaws. The first thing is the gaps. Why you have horrible gaps? Some on the plane. The air brakes, for example, when you fit them in there are so big gaps between the air brakes and the hole itself that you can throw a pound inside, and the pound is very thick. And yeah, that's horrible. And it is very hard to fill them, to sand these flaws, and that doesn't make it very pleasant to build. And the next thing is so flimsy on his wheels. I hope you can see it when I move it. I hope you can see it. Don't try and do that, but when it's hard to see. The wheels are way too weak for that kit. I glued them in with resin, not normally glue, because I thought when I put them on, the wheels would break away. So I strengthened them with clear resin. So plain, can you see it wobbling? It's clearer for me to see, but I will not tilt it over. And yeah, that's such a major flaw. Wobble. I think the best thing on that kit is the decal sheet. And that one is good because you have a lot of versions. An Arabic one, a German one, this British one, and another British version, for example. And that is fine, but the rest is really, really bad. The fittings, the wheels, that's a no-go. It costs, I think, 40 euros that kit. And when I spend 40 euros for a kit, I want to build a good kit which is worth 40 euros. And that wasn't. Okay, and the last one in my 5 flops is the Varsovia from Mastercraft, this one. Oh bloody hell, that's the worst kit I ever purchased. It cost me €3.50, so it is cheap, but even that is too much for that kit. I made an inbox review many years ago. Link to the, it's over there. Look at it, it is so horrible, really. There's no surface details. The canopy is clear. There is no frame for the windows on the canopy where you can glue it or where you can see where the glasses will normally sit. There is no cockpit inside, just a plain seat for the pilot. And that's it, nothing, no cockpit, nothing. And I have never seen such a worse kit. Look at that unbox review. First, it's one of my first videos. It's funny to see old videos with all technical pictures, or the video quality is not high, and but it is such a horrible kit, really. Yeah, that's it. That's all I can say about my flop kits. As I mentioned before, these are not the worst kits on the market. These are not the best kits I've built so far. Before I build or I purchase a kit, I normally inform you about that kit. So there are worse kits outside there, but not on my workbench. So I hope even then you enjoyed that video, and I think we will see us on the next video, hopefully with an unboxing if possible, not of a kit, but of a package if possible. And yeah, I hope you will enjoy the rest of the day, and we will see us on the next video. Bye!